In this lesson, we're going to take a closer look at project configurations as well as variables. Now, before we get back into our project, I'll point out a few things from the documentation on this. First has to do with configs. So far we've made certain configurations within our project. Remember, materialized and schema. And as we mentioned, these are going to flow through for the entire directory here. But the other option that you do have is to set them on the specific model themselves. So if you wanted to do something like this, for example, right within the model itself, even though we have something set here, what it's going to do is see this, and then it's next going to look to see if there's something in your model, and this would take precedence. So in this case, it would be this materialization and it would have this unique key. I'm not going to cover every single possible configuration because there's a lot, but the idea here is that you can add them here under models and then under the different resource paths. And we mentioned also earlier that you want to prefix them with a plus sign. And the reason you want that is because you can have configurations that are also dictionaries. So in that case, let's say we had, I don't know, settings as the name of one, but this configuration was a dictionary. So maybe it was setting 1 and then setting 2, whatever. It's possible that DBT can get confused to say, is this actually a configuration, or are we talking about another layer of a resource path? Is this another folder? So the way to avoid that confusion is to prefix it with a plus sign. So then if it sees this, it'll know, okay, this is the start of a configuration. Anything below this is not a resource path. It's just a dictionary. It's a continuation of this configuration. So that's something to remember. But yeah, in terms of configurations, you can add these throughout your project at different levels. So we could have, in our case, warehouse for our marts here. Well, actually what we'll want to do is marts and then warehouse. Maybe we want this to be schema warehouse. And then we have reporting, schema reporting, and we want the materialized to be a table. Maybe both of these we want to be tables. So now what this is saying is for marts, for the warehouse, it's going to be this, and for reporting, it's going to be this. And just to drive home kind of the flow of this, we can see here that both of these are tables. So instead of repeating ourselves twice here, which you could do if you really wanted to, what you can do is add it up here. So we could say materialized table and then remove this. And how this will be interpreted is it's going to say, okay, anything in the marts directory is going to be a table unless otherwise specified. So we don't need to re-specify it. So that flows through, and the schema will be unique. So we'll add those here. And this is another reason why setting up your directories a certain way is really beneficial in DBT, because you can do stuff like this. You can set configurations across the board and then just one line have everything operate a certain way unless you specify otherwise. So that's configurations. Let's now talk about variables.